Good morning, brothers and sisters. How are you guys doing out there? I hope you're doing blessed. Today is the first day, and there is absolutely no commandment that says we need to worship on a first day. There's only the seventh day. And so if you're going to church on a Sunday, you are keeping what they have as man-made doctrines. And that is what Messiah Yahushua, or as most know him as Jesus the Christ, fought against to begin with. And he has always fought against doctrines of men. It's not a good thing. And, you know, when you look at the word Ephraim, it's another word for Hebrew. And, you know, there were no Jews until the lineage from Abraham, Isaac, and Yitzchak. So Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as you guys know him as. There were no J's in Hebrew, so it was a Yitzchak. And the fourth son of Yitzchak was Judah, Yahudah, and that is where the Jews began. So prior to that, back in the days, a person of our Creator was an Hebrew. You were a Hebrew. That's what Abraham was. He was a Hebrew. He wasn't a Jew. There was no such thing, right? Not for hundreds of years to come. 100 years. Actually, maybe it wasn't that long. I have to do the math on that. But it is one of those things that we, as individuals in this world, have extensive religion all around us. And when I was looking this up, I was blown away. Because right now, this is an old statistic. And it says, according to Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary, there exists roughly 43,000 Christian denominations worldwide. That was in 2012. Guys, by now, I mean, we're talking like 50,000, 60,000. He also states that a new Christian denomination is formed every 10.5 hours, or 2.3 denominations a day. Now, what do all of these things, all of these religions have in common? Well, number one is they all believe the laws of God are on the cross and they don't apply to you anymore. And as we go through the Bible, book by book, verse by verse, chapter by chapter, prophet by prophet, there is nowhere in there that says the churches that are the laws of God are gone and that the church has somehow taken over. In fact, the word church, there's no such real word as church. It's called ecclesia. It's an assembly. And people have taken off with these churches, and they've created 50,000 different denominations of them. And it's crazy. Because every single denomination brings in something a little bit different. You have Orthodox, and they all claim under one thing. They all say they're Christian, right? And what is that word? The word was supposed to be a follower of Christ. Well, if you're a follower of Christ, you're going to keep the law, statutes, and commands of his father, Yahuwah. Because that is what our Messiah did, Yahushua. He kept the law, statutes, and commands of his dad, and he says his will is his father's will, and he does what his father wants to do. So we have, look at that, Mormonism. We have all of these different things. There's, Orthodoxy. There's 230,000 different kinds of this. Adventists, 17 million. I mean, what are we talking here? I don't even know what we're talking about. These numbers right next to this. This can't be right. Oh, add here. That's how many people they have. So that's how many people they have in these cults. So we're talking 1.2 billion Catholics, and I think that's way up. I think we're talking billions of Catholics, many more than 1.2. So they say Southern Baptists. There's 100 million Baptists in there. That's what I grew up, Southern Baptist, I guess you'd call us. There's 16 million there. Reformed churches. What does that mean, Reformed? Not a single one of these people that reform these churches are built upon the law, statutes, and commands of our Creator. The Jehovah's Witnesses, the Russell Hayes guy or whatever that guy's origins are, he's a Freemason origin. And they don't keep the law, statutes, and commands. They think they do. They think there's 144,000 special of them that are going to make this. There's 7.7. Wow, look at that. Is there only 7.7 million? Jehovah's Witnesses. I thought there's a lot more than that. 14 million Mormons. It just seems like there's a lot more. I grew up in southern Idaho and eastern Idaho and right next to Utah, and there were just Mormons everywhere. It's just I see them down here in South America too as well. Their little white shirts, their little clips and things of that nature. But when we want to actually understand what the law, statutes, and commands of our Creator are, well, we do not want to be anything other than an Hebrew. That is it. We want to be a Hebrew. And when we read the book of Hebrews, it's a really hard read. I'm not going to actually read it out of the Sefer because it is a tough read. But let's go over this. Let's see what we can find. And let's see what we can see. This is believed to be written by Brother Shaul. And, people have taken our Brother Shaul and they've created a doctrine outside of the Torah. And this is what these 43,000 or 50,000 churches are built upon. Philosophies of our Brother Shaul. And I would bet you everything that our Brother Shaul would be blown away if he thought that the letters he had written to his people back in the day were going to be taken for gospel for churches in a day. And you can't call yourself a church if you're worshiping on a Sunday. It's contrary to the Bible. It's everywhere is contrary to the Bible. When you're paying 10%, you're paying 10% to Satan. Because when you get all these people in on Sunday and you tell them the laws are gone and they don't apply to them, you're sending everybody to hell. So you're paying to send people to hell if you're tithing to these things. And number one, we're not Levites. There should be nobody should be tithing to anything. You should be putting your tithes to the orphans and the widows and things of that nature and changing the world because there are no Levites to tithe to right now. There's definitely good things to tithe to, but one second. So if you're tithing because your church says you have to tithe, that is not doctrinal either. But how else would the church ever survive? Things of that nature. So yeah, they're all going to say you have to tithe. Everybody's going to take up the collection plate. I see Torah keepers all the time, and I'm really conflicted with the entire thing because I don't know. I do not see us as Levites. I do not see us as people who should be taking tithes of this nature. I don't know. That's just my viewpoint. Let's get into this. Hebrews 1. In the past, I'm reading from the NIV over on the right-hand side. In the past, God spoke to our ancestors through the prophets at many times and in various ways. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by his Son, whom he appointed heir of all things, and through whom also he made the universe. The Son is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of his being, sustaining all things by his powerful word. After he had provided purification for sins, he sat down at the right hand of the majesty in heaven. So if we take a look at just what this says right here, this is a Trinity killer. Again, this defeats when you have 43,000 different denominations and every single denomination believes something different than the others, right? They may have some common stuff, but at the end of the day, they didn't become a denomination because they all believe the same stuff, right? And we're not called to go build churches. We were never called to go build churches. So this is a Trinity killer because if our Creator Yahuwah and his Son Yahushua were the same people, he wouldn't sit down at the right hand of the majesty in heaven, right? It would be weird, right? You're not a split personality. He's not a split personality. He's not a crazy creator. The Son and the Father are two separate entities. Verse 4. So he became as much superior to the angels as the name he has inherited is superior to theirs. For to which of the angels did Yahuwah ever say, "You are my son, my Yakad. Today I have or my Ben, you are my Ben. Today I have become your father." Or again, "I will be his father and he will be my son." Right? And so what you'll notice here is that there's footnotes in all of this. All that Brother Shaul is doing in this entire chapter is giving you pieces of stuff that has already been said. There's no new doctrine in this. There's nothing weird like the other books, like right to this point in Hebrews. There's nothing odd like the other books of Shaul where he will say you have to be 60 years old to be in the granny club, to be in the elder club, and you have to maintain your marriage and watch, do all this stuff. He set up a whole bunch of rules and doctrines and other stuff that is not in the Torah. This is not one of these things. Verse 6. And again, when Yahuwah brings his firstborn into the world, he says, let all God's angels worship him. Right? And again, he's quoting, right? Deuteronomy. In speaking of the angels, he says, he makes his angels spirits and his servants flames of fire. In one moment, I got to turn pumps on and off. Verse 8. But about the Son, he says, your throne, O God, will last forever and ever. A scepter of justice will be the scepter of your kingdom. Now, this is interesting here because let's take a look at verse 8 here in the Sefer. Because there is always translations. And when it says right here, let's go back and I'll show you where it says, your throne, O God, will last forever and ever. A scepter of justice will be the scepter of your kingdom. Now it says God. This is not it, right? So he is not saying, oh God. What he's saying in the correct translation is, oh, your throne, O Elohim. And Elohim, there are mighty powerful Elohim, right? The angels are considered Elohim. Yahushua is for sure considered an Elohim. Yahweh is a Elohim Most High, right? That is our Elohim Most High. And there's only him, right? So it's not saying your throne, God, is forever and ever. A scepter of your righteousness is a scepter of your kingdom, because he's not God. Yahuwah and Yahushua are not the exact same people. Verse 9. And let's flip back to the good reader. You have loved righteousness and hated wickedness. Therefore, God, your God, has set you above your companions by anointing you with the oil of joy. And so, again, you can't get scripture twisted right here. Because where it says, you have loved righteousness and hated iniquity. Therefore, Elohim, even your Elohim, has anointed you with the oil of gladness above your fellows. It's right. He's saying that Elohim, which is his Elohim. It's not saying, again, he and the Son are the same people. And so I want to make sure that is clear, because so many people will take a verse or something out of context and it's not good. And I found this very interesting. That's why it's highlighted. He also says in the beginning, Lord, you laid the foundations of the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands. Now, we continually hear about foundations and how the earth is an unmovable object. It's firm, it's fixed. There's a dome over us. It's a firmament. But yet we have an entire industries made up that lie to the people, that tell us we're space monkeys on a flying ball hurtling through space thousands of miles an hour in every direction, but yet we never feel a thing. And it's obvious that it is to hide our Creator. It is obvious that it is to hide that literally our Creator lives right outside the dome. He lives right. I don't know if that's where he lives, but when it says the dome is your footstool, or the earth is your footstool, I truly believe it. And there's no reason it wouldn't be. And so I again, here we are with foundations, more things to look at, and the evidence. Look around you, and know that our Creator is amazing. That He built a terrarium, a perfect terrarium with its own ecosystem and everything. People are like, "Wow, look at the stars!" The star. Yeah, the stars are called wandering stars. They move around. They run all through the sky. They run all over the place. People are like, "Well, that's evidence that we're moving." I'm like, well, what if the stars are moving? What if that same pattern is with the stars? And, the deception runs from the time that we entered into school, and the indoctrinations there, where we all had spinning balls, and in the classrooms, and people will look at me and they're like, oh, you're crazy. This couldn't happen. Things of this nature. Look, I'll take a quick side note and I'll tell you, my entire life has been in high level IT. At Google, I was a data center networking guy. I was into high level networking all my life. I shot wireless links, the wireless invisible links from housetop to rooftop, things of this nature. There's zero curve. Throughout 20 years of shooting wireless links throughout the United States, I never once had to account for curve, ever. And guys, I'm telling you, you can shoot shots at like 150 miles. And if there was curve, the earth would be blocking it as a ball. So I have firsthand experience that we are absolutely not on a ball. Whatever we are, I don't know what we're on, but we're not a ball. It's not round. So we must take the Bible at what it says. Verse 11, they will perish, but you will remain. They will all wear out like a garment. You will roll them up like a robe. Like a garment, they will be changed, but you remain the same, and your years will never end. To which of the angels did Yahuwah ever say, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet? You know, and again, he's quoting David. And then he goes off, are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation? And that's very interesting. It gives us yet another glimpse into the supernatural world, the world we cannot see, right? We are only able to see one of the dimensions that we live in. And it is very clear in the Bible that there's angels and there's all sorts of supernatural things, including tremendous amounts of demons. The fallen angels' children haunt us as in demons. Their souls had no place to go because they were extracurricular people that Yah did not create souls for. And so we have these suckers haunting us. And the stuff we cannot see is where we absolutely need this supernatural power that we can wield against these creatures and this evil. And this is where we want to be in the hand of our Creator. We do not want to be in the hand of Hasatan, of the adversary. We want to be in line. We want our families in line. We want everything that we do to be in line with our Creator. And that way we're in a perfect Torah of freedom. When I say the Torah of freedom, I'm saying that we are free when we're in this Torah. We are free when we are not guilt-ridden by going against the will of our Creator, right? And salvation always begins at the cross. There's no other name under heaven by which one may be saved. Yeshua, salvation, right? Dad's name, Father's name, Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yad-Hed, Vad-Hed, I am that I am. Guys, it is a blessing that I am able to be sitting here talking with you guys today, and I appreciate your time, and I hope that this does something for one of you guys. I hope you guys have a tremendous first day. Hope you guys are getting a lot of work done on this day, and much love to everybody out there. I'm out.